Elimination final. Lose tonight. They can't make the finals. And we're underway. Perfect palm down. Cloak to Judd. Straight out of the copybook to Fisher. Forced to punch from behind. Russell and Addison pursue it. Addison clever. Dishes it up though and gives it away to Brown. Hacks it inside 50. Betts lurking. Very good. Stevens. Judd tucked into the ankle and rolls it through.
Judd just can't believe it. He hasn't been allowed to run free in a match since about 2001. There it is, the very first one. Just a classic tap. And Judd bursting away from the stoppage.
Umpires for tonight's game: Hayden Kennedy, Simon Meredith and Michael Avon. You would expect the Dogs to try and control possession and play their style of game, even though the Blues have some good form against them in recent times. And the kick up is good to Lake. Got it off to Gilby. And Everett, who was dropped and then brought back into the team with Williams out. So Andreas Everett caught. Hasn't quite got the speed of it just yet. Waite to Stevens. Thumps it forward. First chance again. Fisher a bump.
Too early there, Dwayne.
Addison takes the free.
Ball has to be within 5 metres of the contact, and you see there, ball not even in the screen when contact was made.
Griffin. Ray.
And Ackermanis, one out in the forward 50.
Gilby to Welsh, who's a long way down at half-back. That opens up the forward line. Cross, thumps it long. Acker's on the move. Murphy got there first. Spoiled down. Acker couldn't crumb it. Harbrow, Acker. And Wiggins ties him up.
It's going to be all about speed, how quickly they can get into that forward 50. If it goes in like a bullet, well, Acker will just be unstoppable.
Good crowd in here at the Dome. Full right to the top. The seats. Welsh. 50 from goal. Johnson, one-on-one. One grab. Can he get the toe on it? He's half tackled.
Free kick.
Didn't have it.
It was a dangerous kick from Welsh. Waite was caught spectating the ball a little bit, and Brad Johnson turning around. He was always in trouble when the ball hit the ground. That's the beauty of Brad Johnson. Not only is he good overhead, but when a ball hits the ground on a player such as Jared Waite.
29 goals, 21 this year. And a perfect start for Brad Johnson.
Well, it certainly looked like it was there, Spud. Once again, there's a bit of a neutral hit out, but it was driven into the forward line really well. And Waite took the front spot. He needed to keep Johnson in front of him. And there's the little grab off the back, and a bit of a technical one, but she's certainly there. And I thought Johnson did well not to kick that off the ground. I thought he had to fight. He's got probably a better capacity below his knees than Jared Waite.
Ray to Hargrave, having a good year, especially his last 7 weeks. 20 possessions plus in every game in the last 7 weeks. Hargrave to Cross, Cooney, Griffin, back to Cooney, and now Ackermanis on the bounce. Pushed a little, no free. Cooney back inside 50. Waite got back.
Good running from Waite.
He was spent by the time he got there, but he took the mark. Brown getting a bit of it early. Third possession for him. Scotland. He gets away from Eagleton with a little shepherd from Stevens. Along the boundary line again. Completely missed as Fisher. Hargrave collects. Gilby almost with the one hand. Judd harasses him.
Good work from Gilby just to make sure he kept control of the footy.
Harbrow sends it wide. Again, no one home for the Dogs. They're keeping that forward line open. And Waite, did he keep that in? He did. And now he's caught, gone. Probably should have taken it out. Murphy tracked him down. Judd caught by Cooney. Play on advantage. He was slung. Waite having an impact. Needs to hit a chest. Sends it long and doesn't hit one, although Fisher makes the half volley for the kick to look good. Carazzo, Cruiser, Scotland. Tough contest to win a possession so far. Morris takes the mark.
Murphy was trying to do the team thing, expecting Zavala was going to compete there, and in the end probably should have went with Morris.
Ryan Griffin. Welsh Also having an influence early. Open forward line. Ackermanis again one-on-one. And again the fist. And Jamison wins out.
Just not working up there, Ackermanis, one out.
Oh, Hargrave, the steal, the shot. The miss.
I don't think he's leading hard enough, Spud, and I don't think he's leading on an angle to get away from his man.
For it to work, Jared, you're right in saying that, but they need to kick the ball to grass to him also. If they kick the ball in the air, he's on Michael Jamison, who's 190.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ackermanis has to change his lead, get a bit of lateral movement into his lead.
Gibbs, Greg and Scotland combined to get it long. Favola in a one-on-one with Lake, who gets the fist on it. Favola the crumb. The magic man around the body. Misses. First shot from Fev tonight. Same amount of scoring shots, 7 plays 2. Cross. Oh, almost over the head of Boyd. Had the reach. Good pass to Welsh. Griffin. Now Johnson. Begins with a spoil. Johnson pursues it and kicks around the body, but it's wide. Got a little push as he kicked it. Wanted a free for in the back, didn't get it. The behind will stand. Here's the push. Half back, half side. White had to do exactly that. Took the mark though when it came down. Stevens took on Hahn. Got a handball away. Got himself out of trouble there. Simpson. Time.
Oh.
Judd makes an ordinary kick look superb. Back to Simpson. Chips the kick. Cruiser.
Well, it's good play all round by the Blues. They got themselves out of trouble a couple of times, in particular Nick Stevens. That one of Simpson was made look good by Chris Judd.
And also Will Minson caught spectating there a little bit. You've either got to impact the contest or go and man up Matthew Cruiser as we see him take the mark here.
He's kicked 7 goals straight this year, Matthew Cruiser. He's never kicked a behind in his career. Still hasn't. 8 for the season.
That's a good start. Good start for Cruiser on the ground, Jared.
Good stat as well. Dwayne put the biggest moz on him of all time, having never kicked a behind.
And that was good to see Judd go forward, and we have got that match-up. Kearney's gone back with Judd to play as a half-back flanker, so Brett Ratton can actually dictate Kearney's movements now if he's going to go on Chris Judd. It was a terrific pick-up. The kick wasn't great, but Judd made it look a lot easier than it was.
15 of 17 games in his debut year. Matthew Cruiser straight back into the middle to contest this. Tries for the big fist. Minson thumped it down, stolen by Walker.
Kicked it straight to Brad Johnson.
Who can take off if it sits, and it doesn't sit. It sits for Wiggins. A present for his 100th game. Walker, short. Missed the target. Morris, Kearney, Boyd, Johnson. And now Murphy in a one-on-one with Thornton, who wins it.
Well, that's a good matchup. Thornton really suits Murphy, and you'll be looking for Jared Wade here because he's free in the Carlton back half.
On the boundary line, Lee, I don't think it'll be long before we see Mitch Hahn go up and into that goal square up forward.
Yeah, he's been outstanding this year, Mitch. He's got that strong body, and it'll be certainly a good option to kick long to him.
That was Jared Waite's 8th disposal already, playing free across the back line for Carlton.
To Jamison, to Murphy. Betts, good hands. Had big Will Benson behind him, and even Will couldn't reach. Favola, pocket, one hand, not the second grab. It's a little touch here.
It's quite interesting, that kick to Favola. We had Andrew Walker on Eagleton in the goal square. They kicked to Favola wide.
There's Mitch Hahn on screen, playing midfield like everyone else at the moment.
Cruiser with a slap back. Carazzo, push in the back. No push in the back paid. Cross could have got one there as well.
Thanks, boys.
Well called, Jared. Have a look at the numbers around the ball. We've got one-on-ones all over the ground. Jared Waite's been now just about picked up. But
he's the only one free. He's just trying to pick up the Bulldogs free.
Gee, Vincent pushed out of that. Hargrave. Handball was stolen by Walker, who's held up.
Well, that suits Carlton at the moment because Jared Waite's free, and the free play for the Bulldogs is in these scrimmages here. So he's one of 28, where Jared Waite's on his own. One of 27, I should say. It's got to be an odd number.
Cruiser and Minson down to Everett. Jard. Through traffic, can't break free. 102 hard ball gets this year, Chris Judd. More than twice the next best blue in that department. Had a pretty good year still. Quick hack out of the area, finds Waite. To his own advantage nicely. Holds it in one hand and free downfield. So Brown will take it. Possession number 4. Carazzo thumps it long. No Favola down there. Bets to Crum. Couldn't get near it. Hargrave, Jan Syracusa, Minson.
Almost got to go inboard because there's no one outboard.
He's got Hill with 3 to beat.
Yeah.
And he flies and beats them. That's a big grab. Not paid. But it's just as good as. Takes on Cloak. Still no one to kick to. No one inside 50. Bends it around. Went for Harbrow. Hit Scotland.
It was a terrific effort from Josh Hill, but Will Minson has to read the play. He's played on, and he's looked up the ground. There was 4 on 1.
And then the youngsters should have read the play as well and held until somebody went forward.
Minson would say his pass was perfect, Spud.
Well, it was in the end, Wayne. It had to be.
Murphy. Inside 50, Walker. Carazzo. 50 from goal. Sends it to the goal square. Favola with 2 to beat. Hargrave takes the mark. Griffin. So the double teaming Favola, as you'd probably expect. Boyd. Gian Syracusa with the sit. Can't take the mark. On the prowl though at Jamison. Held into the contest. Jamison, Gian Syracusa tie up.
Let's have a look at the fly for Hill. This was 1 against 3. There was 2 in front and 1 behind, and he made good.
Minson knocks central, no one there. Murphy was waiting for it. Scotland, Stevens to the open side. Thornton to Carazzo, who got the 3 Brownlow votes the last time these 2 teams met.
It's interesting tactics from Rodney Eade. Very concerned about Favola dropping extra bloke back, but it's freeing up everybody else, and the Blues are doing well with Jared Waite with 9 possessions. Heath Scotland off the half-back line, and Thornton also. They've got a dozen possessions between them, and the inside 50 Spud. Just having a look at the moment, Carlton's had 11, and the Dogs have just got the 6.
Well, it's played on the Blues' terms because of that stat alone, Jared. 11 to 6 inside 50s, and it's helping Jared Waite at the moment because he's the key player with 9. As you said, they're double teaming Favola, so it's played on the Carlton's terms.
Game 100. Wiggins kicks the goal. The Blues in front.
They deserve this lead, Carlton, and as you said, the 3 half-back line players for Carlton all leading the disposals, and it's rebounding off that half-back line far too easily, and Rodney Eade's obviously conscious of Favola, but what it's doing is freeing up Jared Waite, so it'll be interesting to see what's going on in the coach's box at the moment. We just see Jared Waite floating back now to pick up Hudson, so Rodney Eade said enough's enough.
Yeah, got to get some structure back.
Need a match-up for Jared Waite. Let's put Hudson forward. Means that Minson will go into the ruck.
Just some big guns in that box. Ratton, Kraziska, Bradley, Kernahan, former Melbourne coach in there as well. From the ball up. Gian Syracusa quickly, inside 50. Tough bouncing ball, but Jamison read it nicely. Takes them on to Gibbs. Coming off a sensational game last week. Bryce Gibbs, where he kept Adam Goods to just 7 possessions. Fisher. Stevens back to Gibbs. Betts.
Up and about the Blues. I think they've let themselves down half a dozen times, though, Spud, with kicks like that. Eddie Betts under no real pressure. They couldn't find a target up forward. Just a poor kick.
They're also going wide, Jared. Right to the flanks there. They need to get that extra handball or kick into the midfield to open it up to the fat side for Carlton.
Judd and Cruiser having a rest. Cloak doing the ruck work down to Favola, doing some roving. Wiggins thumped to the turf. Fisher. Gibbs. The full forward, and again Morris. The human glove wins out. Took the step to play on. Comes down the corridor. Boyd. There's a fight on the outer side. There's 4 players in it. Big spoil.
Empty goal
Griffin
square.
stumped down. Russell inside 50, can't take the mark. Addison couldn't get there for the crumb. Russell spins it around the body. It's all about the bounce. It's offline. And they're still into it on the outer side. 15 plays 8.
Those kicks going forward, Jared, really hurt the midfield. Whilst the forward should be having a shot on goal, all of a sudden it comes back with interest. Two-way running, exhausting game at the moment for the Carlton midfield.
Hudson palm down. Murphy, Judd back on, sends it wide, and the mark just outside 50 from Wiggins. To the goal square, Favola, good position here. Can't get a fly at it. Gilby made it a 2-on-1 again.
He's an important player. Gilby's man has got to get away from Favola. He's got to sacrifice himself to give Favola one-out chop.
You see Jordan Russell there. You're all over it there, Jared, because he has to come at the ball carrier or Favola. If you just stand there, you just make it so easy to double, triple team Brendan Favola.
Everett's kick was poor, but Brown couldn't mark it. Ackermanis, Griffin, Hahn had to backtrack. Acker still there. And now the delivery important. It's good to Welsh. We're far out to score. Johnson calls it back to the square. Short instead, Addison. Short again, Johnson, although he left it in the end to Gian Siracusa. Second plays 11th on the ladder. 4 points perhaps mean more to Carlton than the Bulldogs.
They've pushed Welsh forward again rather than having him float across that half-back line. I'm not sure whether, Danny, there was a key plan to go in and frustrate Fev early, load up their back line, trying to get him off his game.
Yeah, I think they really wanted to have a love all draw quarter time, and that's probably a win for the Bulldogs in the end.
Second term underway, and Thornton tried to get a kick out of the danger area, but it's about to come back. Hudson's handball missed the target. Judd hunts down Eagleton. Wait, caught with a chicken wing. Free kick's been found in the congestion. Cross to Griffin. Murphy, 51 from goal.
Handful forward, he's the big body.
Big long kick to the square. Hahn can't mark. Cloak can't crumb. Hahn can. Rolls it home. Great second effort.
Certainly was. Great play there. Cloak couldn't quite get down, or he's a ruckman, but you've still got to get your hands on the ball. We see Murphy kicking the ball to a real dangerous spot here. And it was well called, Wayne, because he has a go at the mark, doesn't get it. There's Cloak. Oh, he goes lower and harder, wins the ball, and kicks a scrappy goal in the end. But that was a great effort from Mitch Hahn. Started the game on the bench. I don't think we'll see him too much on the bench other than having a rest there, because he's a very dangerous player. When you have a look at the match up there, he's got a strong body. Young Mark Austin there, he's going to be a good player, but he's a bit light on for body strength against Mitch Hahn.
Bit light on for experience as well. This is game 3 for Mark Austin. Judd. Brown. Walker was wrapped up. Carlton portion of the crowd wanted a free. Ray.
Did well, Farron. Did very well. Kept control of the footy.
Got some strength this year, Farron Ray. Had a good summer. Seems to be able to hold his body strength and use his legs. Chips it to fullback. Cross. Griffin to the open side, and he can go. Another bounce it off for if he wants it. Make that another one. Eddie Betts is chasing him. Not making a lot of ground. He could go the journey here all the way to full forward. The drop punt's a wobbler, and White takes the gully catch.
Great slips catch there from Jared White. You're right, though, Dwayne. Probably was gully.
Yeah, third slip,
yes,
maybe.
It was. Bruce Yardley.
Gibbs' handball was untidy, but Jamison made it look okay. Scotland.
It's always a big difficulty after a long searching run like that, trying to hit a target and hit the ball properly.
And White again flies, and well read. Welsh made him earn it. Gibbs.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Welsh go to full forward either, Danny, to try and get Wade across out from that full back line. Sorry, that half back line.
Stevens, Russell,
It's a great
Judd,
kick.
and now for Fowler.
The key to that kick was it went to space and went to grass. He had a look where Favola was, and he was always on the move. And when you put the ball out in front, there's nothing any defender in the competition can do against this kick here. That's why he's a class player, Chris Judd. You talk about entries. If they get the ball in his hand forward to the centre, Brendan Favola will love that tonight.
69 goals for the season, Brendan Favola. Still a chance for the Coleman. Brings it back beautifully. That's the Fev they love.
Well, that brings him back to square one. And sadly, he should have 2 on the board. But they're of his own making. Have a look at this now. Judd on the burst. Kicks that ball magnificently to space, as you pointed out, Danny.
The key to that play, Stevens kicked the ball and Chris Judd. Their best 2 users. So if they can get those boys getting some quality ball, more importantly, it was through the midfield as well, Jared, through the corridor.
Brendan Favola's mum used to sit near the cheer squad and watch his games, but couldn't quite handle the abuse and put a stop to doing that. It's the man they love to hate and hate to love at times as well, opposition fans. Hudson extracts it. Eagleton. Little nudge and a half hot in the ball.
Do you have any ball?
Not a lot.
Wiggins gets 50. Well, I think Eagleton thought it was his.
I think he thought it was at least a ball up.
Yeah, he heard the whistle, stopped, thinking, well, as you say, Danny, maybe a ball up and maybe it's mine.
The ball up at worst. Not a free kick to Carlton.
He's trying to get the ball. That's right.
We've talked about momentum all night. Well, this is for 2 goals within a minute, and the Blues are back in front.
Well, he's been a handy player, Wiggins. He's playing that half-forward role, defensive type role. There's no way known he had prior opportunity there. He grabbed the ball, and a split second later, Wiggins tackles him. So you haven't got prior opportunity whatsoever.
It wasn't as if he dived on the ball.
He was on the way down. You're right, Jerry.
Caught the ground.
Judd, Brown, Murphy.
Building
Good
right
movement
into the
this.
Yeah, they're looking greater sync than the Dogs at the moment.
Gibbs to Simpson to Fisher. And now Stevens to Favola. Just a little too wide for him. It's still there. The collect, the roll, the bounce.
Oh, how about that?
Addison.
Well
He was
thought
the
out
only
in the
man to
first.
stop it.
He was well thought out. May have either rolled through himself or it was a soccer pass to the top.
Oh,
It would have been a goal if Addison hadn't have got his hands on it. It looked like it was going to turn in towards the goal.
Cootie to Hahn. Brad Johnson short. He wants him. He hits him. Carlton by 2 points. Murphy. Blues playing to keep their season, their finals hopes alive. Murphy to Welsh.
Yeah, there's 4 Carlton blokes in that area, Danny, and not one of them read it well enough to close. They had to close in on the space.
And there was 2 midfielders. Cruiser was the ruckman, young Mark Murphy, and Judd was there also. And you're right, Jerry. If you're going to guard space, have a look at the forward.
Hand off to Gilby, who was free from 60. Nails it. The Dogs have the lead.
You cannot let players such as Lindsay Gilby space around the player that's going to kick the ball. It's just common sense. You need to man players like this up.
Now look at this. Here's the movement. There's the space open. So look at those Carlton blokes around there. Not one person closed in on the space, and then that's just unforgivable because everyone knows that that is one of the party tricks that the Bulldogs roll out every second week.
(33 to 29).
Well, Welsh has gone back to full forward, and Mitch Hahn's come up, but Brett Ratton will have none of having Jared Waite go back with him. He's got him out there on Mitch Hahn. He wants him to stay across half back.
Secondary ball up in the middle. When I mentioned the big names earlier, I forgot to mention Premiership player Brett Montgomery in that box as well. From the ball up. Murphy. Knocked away from him. Judd spins and still gets it. Hamill missed the target though, as did Harns. Johnson, little push. Gibbs holds it up. I mentioned that Gibbs kept goods to 7 possessions last week, but he also gathered 26 possessions himself, Bryce Gibbs. He is in sensational form as Acker has a rest for the Dogs.
The Bulldogs have worked Bryce Gibbs over a little bit too today, Dwayne. Just off the ball, just give him a couple of shepherds, a couple of nudges.
Cross. Get inside 50, Jim Siracusa. Back to Cross. Ray, Eagleton. Got a couple of options in the pocket, and Hahn clocks it. Good hands.
Wasn't his best kick for Nathan Eagleton. Needed to go a little bit longer, but Mitch Hahn made good. Who's he played on?
He does now. It's across the face. Welsh flies, can't mark it. Wiggins lifts the arms, gives to Judd. Hands to Simpson. Fisher. On the boundary line. Simpson calls for the second possession in this string and gets it. Playing on at all costs. Murphy. It's good football to watch at the moment. Carazzo.
Addison will look back and say he should have gone earlier into the spoil. He just went up and stood on the mark.
To Scotland. And now to the pocket to Murphy. Had a big piece of it. Addison knocked it down. Got back just in time. Ray got it from cross. Hands it up to Gian Siracusa. Now Hill. On the rebound they come. Murphy. Uncharacteristic fumble from him. He mopped up his mess and went to Boyd. Good commitment. Took the mark on the second grab.
Very good grab. Wiggins bearing down, I think.
Plays on to cross. 60 out. Pops it to the pocket. Harbrow. Hands are strong. It's the benefit of playing indoors on a day when it's raining.
Adam Cooney, you'd like to see him get a bit more of the footy and get a bit more dangerous. There's Matt Boyd. He was put under some pressure, but he was good enough.
Just keeps racking up possessions too, Matty Boyd. 9 already.
Crowd wanted 50 there because he was grabbed, but no 50 forthcoming.
Adam Cooney's going head-to-head with Judd. He's not being tagged, and he's just not getting enough footy.
Harbrow into the behind post. Blues ball.
And Rodney Eade already rotating that forward line, Jared. Just aware that young Stephen Brown on Harbrow, just walking back to the goal square. Makes you a little bit nervous when you're younger and you're playing fullback.
Fisher, wide.
Good grab.
Austin. It's the quarter play on. Thumps it along the line. Almost but not quite Hartlett, so he fights on. And the little knock on. Didn't quite work from Cruiser. Griffin. Minson. Shrugs Hartlett, who half had him. Morris to Addison. To the pocket. Blues have the numbers. Wait. Left it behind. Crunch the pack. Brown brought down. Holding the ball. Was a good tackle. He didn't push him in the back. Welsh wrapped him up and held him back. Hill or Ray. They both fly and Hill takes the mark with ease.
He's got great hands, but it was a great kick. That kick to the fat side could have blazed away. Went for goal. He thought, I'll give it to my teammates. And normally your defence are aware it's going out of the top of the square, but this one actually went out past the top of the square, which made it really hard to defend. But you're right, it was a great grab.
Rodney Eade was a bit worried about his commitment last year. Concerned mid-year as to the direction that Josh Hill was headed. But they've re-signed him until 2010, and he nails the goal.
Here's a Jared Wade fly. He did everything right, bar bring the footy down. Nearly necked himself on the way through. There's the tackle, though, that set up this goal from Scott Welsh. And the very strong arms, or hands at least, of Hill.
Not only that, he's got a great vertical leap off one step, straight up. A great start to the year. As I said, he's just dropped off a little bit, and if they can get him in form leading into the finals, it'll be a real positive for the Bulldogs.
He didn't play last week in that loss to the Cats, so back in this week. Josh Hill. And the ball up. Gibbs going nowhere. The man to go to Cloak gets it back. Is to Murphy. High fend off. Bulldog free. Play on advantage. Everyone stop. Harbrow continues. Oh, I won't argue about that. Lead out to 16 points.
In a heartbeat, Brett Ratton can't believe what happened through the middle of the ground. Let's take another look. There's the tap from Cloak. A little bit of a fumble. Well, I didn't pick it up, I'm afraid, Danny, but we get a good look.
Well, probably what we saw there, Jared, was when the whistle was blown, all the Carlton players were flat-footed.
I didn't see the free kick, though.
Yeah, I think it was just a throw from Mark Murphy on the tackle.
And as was said a number of times, players are attuned to stop on the whistle as Rodney Eade shows his displeasure at a couple of things. Gee. Try and find out what that was about. Because they're flying at the moment. 16-point lead. Biggest lead of the game so far. Murphy caught. Good tackle, Gibbs. Needs the reward. Gets it. Play on advantage. So doesn't get the stat himself. Carazzo got it from Grigg. Short to Hartler. Central kick. Favola just edged under it. Scotland shrugs the tackle. 50 from goal. Couple of pass targets. Hands it off to Stevens. To Judd. Oh, put her in the book. Johnny's missed.
He just didn't get himself balanced in the finish. He only had the 3 steps to get balanced and kicked it accordingly.
Hard to believe what's happened in the last couple of minutes here. Cross. Turnover. Walker. Scotland. Rolls it through the legs of Fisher.
Fair.
And now Wiggins. Wiggins has 3. They get the one they needed.
He's had a fantastic month, Wiggins. Goes into the game with a defensive mindset, even though he's playing the forward line. And then all of a sudden what happens is the half-back starts thinking, I need to get a bit of the ball, but then Wiggins pops up and kicks some goals. So,
well, you just saw the free kick that led to the first goal. It may have been against Gibbs or Murphy. Both didn't really connect. But at the other end of the ground, this is what happened the second time through. Eddie Betts just keeping the ball moving. And not sure whether he had to go around the corner, but it was effective nonetheless.
(36-45). 17 minutes gone, second term. Cloak with the palm down. No secondary ball up. Gilby heads toward Johnson. Bouncing ball. Bounce kindly. Gian Syracusa. He thumps it to the square. Minson.
Great mark. Just going back, Danny, you, I reckon, started your coaching in the era where corralling became popular. I'd bloat if you corral Gian Syracusa. You have to get up and you've got to smother and you've got to harass. You corral Gian Syracusa, as I just saw, he kicks it and he kills you.
correct weight. He is so good with his feet. He only needs 2 metres, and you're right. You really need to get the closing speed on his kick, because if you play off 2 or 3 metres, he's too clever.
Kicked some big goals this year. And that was big in the context of this game. It was never in doubt.
Well, he's such a great, important part to the Bulldogs forwards today. We know Wayne Campbell does a lot of work with those forwards there, and he's just a different matchup. We look at the mobility of Hill, Harbrow, Welsh, Johnson, Kearney and Murphy, but Minson's just the get-out kick that they need at times under pressure, especially late in quarters. And you're right, Joe, that corralling there should have put more pressure on young Sean Grigg. He'll learn from that. It was a half-hearted effort in the end.
But as a coach, Stanley, because I know the rationale is you don't want to get players to go around you, but surely you've got to get up and try and tackle them.
You corral if you think they're going to use their hands and handball to someone else, but with no one else in the vicinity, you get in there as quick as you can and put some pressure on that kick.
Okay.
8-3 to 5-6. I'll let you two philosophers continue at half-time. We're 8 minutes away from it. Gibbs got it up, Cloak. Back to Gibbs. Has a bounce. Takes on Cross. Ran around him. Sends it long to Favola. Half held. Wants a free. Doesn't get it.
Well, one thing you don't do when a player's running with the ball, Jared, is watch the ball there. We saw Kearney just watch the ball on Gibbs. That marking contest there. Good score from Lake.
No free kick?
No.
Back into play. Cloak thumps it down to the danger zone, but the Dogs had numbers. Gian Syracusa to Cross. Hargrave. And now Ackermanis on the run. Gibbs hunts him down. Acker takes off. Thumps it long. Minson got hands to it, couldn't mark it. Goes back in, shrugs, kicks, misses. Oh, he's a monster. Big Will.
He's a strong boy. Cloak working hard here. See the strength there from Minson.
Cloak at half-back. 52 to 36. Ticked into time on now, second term. Farron Ray needs to fly and goes. They can't mark. And there's a hold. Eddie Betts to play on. Well, the umpire said go, play on advantage, and then it'll come back. So first you hear a whistle, people stop. Then you hear play on advantage, everyone goes. And then you hear no, bring it back, Stevens ball. Gibbs.
A lot of numbers inside the Carlton forward 50.
Murphy. 52 out. Just beyond him, perhaps, although he knows it's beyond him. Caught a play on, doesn't want to kick and hope, but in the end, that's all he can do. And Cloak got hands to it and couldn't mark. Ball still in dispute. Massive players around it. Free kick to the Dogs.
There's another one, Mark Murphy, Danny, that needs to get some more footy. Judge had 14, Stevens 16. Mark Murphy's got the same opportunities, playing a similar role. He's just with the 9 at the moment, so the Blues have got plenty of upside with him in the second half.
Morris, Gilby, Cooney, Eagleton all combined to get it to Everett, who gets a soft free against Hartlett.
Well, that was just a good body spoil.
Yeah. Murphy.
Been a bit quiet. Hasn't cut up the side.
And it's a tumbler. Murphy read that okay. Carazzo, and they're away through the corridor here. Greg. Austin. Scotland. And Favola's got 3 to beat, so...
He's also got Jared Waite that's pushed down there to support. Big running from Waite.
Greg. And now Betts with a couple to beat. Almost Hill. Crumby's own work. Hargrave, boundary there if he wants it. He finds it. With a ball in.
Just been watching a couple of the Bulldogs midfielders. When the ball's held up and Carlton hold it up, one of them will run back and double team Favola.
Cooney back to Hargrave. Another possession for him. Possession number 9. Gian Siracusa sends it wide towards Everett. And to Waite. And does well. Takes off on Hartlett. Minson can't get a fly at it. Neither can Hahn. Minson might crumb. Little nudge. Wrapped up. Held it in.
Gone.
Dead.
As soon as he went to the ground, he was in trouble if he didn't release the ball.
But I think you can see the difference between that one where you support the umpire and Nathan Eagleton. You know, he could have picked it up. He elects to go to the ground, and then he hatches it. Had to knock it out.
Jamison to Thornton. It's a tough ball to mark as well. Cloak got a hand on it and takes off. Gibbs. Stevens. And now wide. Russell in the pocket. Hands were strong there. Not a great kick at goal though. And a tough angle to be kicking goals from.
Got Cruiser running to the top of the square.
He's kicked 2 goals, 10 this year.
Got some space to kick into, but can anyone break?
In fact, he kicked it behind earlier today, so 2 goals, 11. So he centres it instead.
Cruiser.
And almost Cruiser had a giant piece of it. Back in, gets it half-legged, no free. Greg gets a kick away, and it's wide. Behind.
Good second effort there from Matthew Cruiser. We had the mark, and then the second effort.
Oh, it's a big leg.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a leg.
Blake got away with it there. And it's often not how many frees you get, it's where you get them or don't get them, and that was a certain goal. Blake. Murphy on the bounce.
Well, a good job so far by Thornton.
He's done a very good job, Jared, because Murphy's had to search far and wide for his possessions.
Oh, that was clever though, although that's holding the ball. Russell grabbed him as he bounced it. And it'll be 50 if he's not careful. Gian Siracusa. Cloak.
Up and about here, the Blues.
Stevens. Oh, good play. Gilby takes the mark in front of Wiggins. It'll come back.
Since the back line has been solid, Danny. They've been under enormous pressure, the Bulldogs.
Well, Carlton have gone inside their 450 28 times and have only kicked the 5 goals, so the back line right on top there.
Hudson to Boyd to Hahn. Kicks to the pocket to Johnson. Waite was there regardless. Ball in, 2 minutes 27 from half-time. The Brains Trust. And the ball in, Judd.
Geez, he was allowed to be forward of the ball there, Gibbs. Unfortunately, didn't land for him.
Back to Judd. Now Waite. Now Favola.
Tremendous kick. Favola led laterally for a start, and Waite was coming down the middle of the ground. That's the key for Carlton. Brett Ratton needs to get to his charges at half-time. If we're going to get Brendan Favola into the game, we need to attack through the corridor. It gives him 3 or 4 options to lead into.
Geez, it was quick ball movement, though. Gibbs allowed to just hang off the front of the pack. Judd was involved. And then the bomb to Fev, who rarely misses these.
The umpires just don't leave him alone, do they? Yell of 20 seconds for his second. Goal umpire does some dancing. Disappointment. Been pretty accurate this year too, Fev. That was from the paint of the 50. Thought it was home for a while. 70 goals, 36 for the year now. Johnson. Hargrave.
A lot of bullies behind the ball now.
Content to go in with this lead.
Eddie.
Not with kicks like that, though.
No. Everett to Minson.
He could have been a big punch back into the forward line for Meddy, and away goes Cooney.
Got it from Boyd. Gives it long towards Hahn, who's got the set. Can't mark. Johnson back of the pack. That's his forte.
Great run.
You just can't keep a good man down.
Super goal. You called it, Jared. Sometimes you've got to do the team things. You don't have to do
He might get a second kick here. Oh, boy.
It was close, but
Umpire Avon got in there quickly and virtually grabbed him.
it was a great run. But this resulted from Eddie Betts trying to take a mark.
Yep.
He's not a tall player, so play the percentages. He didn't play the percentages, and this was the result. A goal to the Bulldogs with a minute left on the clock. That hurts.
It does. I'm not sure what Robert Murphy had said to Brett Thornton, but he seemed to upset him.
Biggest lead of the game, 20 points. In the shadows of half-time, Griffin, Carazzo, gee, had to go there. And 50. Gee.
I thought he did enough to make him earn it, but maybe it's a secondary hit there. We'll just see the replay. Good mark.
Oh,
He was just trying to get out of the road.
He stopped, held his ground.
He did. Actually helped Carazzo.
He did. He lessened the impact.
He tried to protect himself. Great mark. Once again, we've seen this too many times for Carlton's liking. Just whether it be Gilby or Morris or Lake taking marks in crucial situations.
So with 30 seconds left, Gilby takes off. Free kick, downfield, there's a hold. And they're not allowed to play onto advantage here, the Dogs. It'll stop with 25 seconds on the clock. Dylan Addison.
Lee Colbert, are they going just Favola conscious? Do they need to move the ball quicker or through the corridor or bring Favola up the ground?
Yeah, last week, Danny, it was one thing they did. They brought Favola up the ground and gave other guys opportunity out of the goal square. So, fair point. I think it might be time for something like that.
Jordan Russell now is running with Adam Cooney, and he's in his face, blocking him. Not happy.
A mark here, and they get one last shot. Hargrave needs to send it in. I need the mark from this. Murphy
On the
buzzer with half a second to spare.
It was a dangerous kick. A beautiful kick, actually, into the middle of the ground, 30 metres out. Puts the defence under massive pressure. You see Hargraves there. Have a look inside. That was the key. He had a look in there and kicked it in. A lot of Bulldogs numbers. Good timing.
To push the margin out to 26 points at the long change. Robert Murphy, 25 goals, 10 for the year. Very accurate season. And a magnificent opening half for the team that sits second on the AFL ladder. And Carlton's season is on the ropes. 10-4-64 the Dogs for the Blues. 5-8-38.
Danny, Eddie Betts has had no real impact on this match. Kate Simpson's been quiet. Murphy's been quiet. There's a big upside for the Blues. They've got to get their hands on the ball.
Dogs by 26, and they get the takeaway. Griffin to Welsh. Dive but couldn't mark. Handball missed the target. Thornton. The Gibbs, who started at half-back in the second half. Murphy, Judd.
In trouble.
And Court got the handball away just in time to Favola, all the way up to the centre circle. Murphy,
Good
Judd.
rebound from Judd. Just got straight back up after being tackled.
Wait, and now Scotland really had to motor, but got there.
Simpson's been pushed forward. They need some more options up there.
And should have got a free, did get a free. And plays on. Chips it inside 50, and Carazzo spills it. Stolen back by Murphy. And he misses to the near side. They've had their opportunities.
Seen Mark Murphy miss a lot of goals, and it's something he needs to address. Every time he runs in, he leans his whole body to the left-hand side and often drags them left. And that was a classic look at it from behind.
There's virtually a 50-50 shot at goal. 11 goal 9 for the year. Lake runs the wing. Couple of bounces. Had a good game so far on Favola. That kick a little too strong for Harbrow Grigg. Thornton to the open side. Just pokes the pass. Jamison.
Oh,
Big hip and shoulder. Protects him. Well played by Cloak. Opened up a bit of space. Simpson.
Judd's on here.
And Judd can have the shot from 50. Missed one in the opening half. Misses again.
3 points to Jody Blythe.
Their kicking in general has been substandard today compared to what it has been at various times through the year.
Well, those two shots in particular, Jared, really hurt you as a midfield. If you can get some easy ball through the middle of the ground and hurt them on the scoreboard. Murphy and Judd already regained 2 minutes, have had a shot on goal each, yet only 2 points.
Morris towards Gent Syracuse, met heavily, play on advantage. Harbrow with the speed, slips the pass to Minson. Had a piece of it, gathers his own crumb. High kick, Welsh flies, can't mark, off hands. Ball hits Carazzo, Hahn hits him. He dropped it. Free kick to Hahn.
Well, it was a good tackle. He must have dropped it instantly. He's got the shot on goal, and this will hurt. You see here, there's Carazzo, there's the tackle.
Gee.
Did he have prior opportunity?
Well, he tried to get rid of it with a handball.
That's tough.
Stripped.
Hahn kicks and slides it in. Perfect start to the second half for the Dogs.
Great kick from Mitch Hahn, and he's an important player for them going into the final series. But I thought he was a bit lucky there. I thought the Blues were a bit stiff. There's Carazzo, no prior opportunity.
No prior opportunity.
How's he supposed to get that out umpire?
Well, they're getting the rub of the green. There's no doubt in that. Look, they deserve their lead, but again, 2.5 minutes into this third quarter, Carlton's two midfielders have 2 shots on goal.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs go straight down and score a goal. That hurts.
Yeah, there's been as much self-destruction as the Dogs going forward. But I reckon the prior opportunity, Danny, it just seems so harsh at times.
There's an early one on Eagleton too in the second quarter.
Biggest lead of the game, 30 points now. Addison met heavily, dragged down, got the handball up though, cross to Ray, wide to Griffin. Scotland pushes him wide, doesn't come at him, forces the short pass to Murphy. Open pocket, centers the kick, Minson and Hahn, Minson!
Strong.
Too big.
Well, he's an imposing figure, Will Minson. When he sets himself, and again, that's just a very clever kick to a dangerous spot. That's the get-out kick they've got. They've got more options. Carlton, unfortunately, are one-dimensional with Brendan Favola. Up this end, they honour targets, they honour leads, but then they've got the get-out kick. Look at this, a dangerous kick to a dangerous spot. And big Minson, that is a great leap.
He's kicked 16 goals, 5 this year. Been reliable until then. And Carlton's season is at breaking point.
Let's have a look at the other end of the ground, this first opportunity. You'll see Mark Murphy running in. And he always just turns that body left and drags the ball left. He's got to keep his shoulders square with the target.
He's got some good ones helping him out, Jared. Craig Bradley and Greg Williams both are training, teaching him how to play.
I actually think you can see improvement. I think he started with a real flaw there, and you see it improve, but it's under the greatest acid in front of goal.
Cross to Gilby. They can smell blood, the Dogs. Long. Harbrow. Hahn needs to get a toe on it. Magnificent tackle. And rushed through by Greg.
That is a good tackle because he is a strong boy over the ball, Mitchan. So him running onto the ball, and Greg very good
Brown
tackle.
with the tackle, I should say. It was Greg, actually, with the tackle.
Good decision to go inside. He's Scotland.
Oh, trip. Or did he trip himself?
He either tripped himself or his teammate tripped him.
Jared White, they clashed legs, unfortunately.
Quick play on. Carazzo pokes it to Betts. Fist from Hargrave. Judd, number 4. And he nails his 4th goal. 4th shot at goal, I should say, for the game.
Just have a look at this another trip there, yeah. Jared White just running down the ground, unfortunately clips the back of Heath Scotland. Judd getting the ball. He made no mistake of that one. And that is a good lesson there for Mark Murphy to watch that one, Jared, because he's running straight at the target. He wasn't going to miss that shot on goal. 20 disposals now to Juddy.
Yeah, Mark just tends to tilt left, trying to drag the ball through. If he's going to do that, he's got to go at that right goalpost. But Nick Stevens has got 18. Judd now with a big second, third term.
I've liked his game too, Judd.
20.
He's had 20, 4 contested possessions. He normally gets half. He's had 13 handball receives, so he's getting some good, easy ball through the corridor.
It was good for a goal a game, Judd, normally. 150 games and 150 goals. Now for Chris Judd. Good kick to Johnson.
That's the Kearney that was lacking in that first half.
And speaking of milestones, Brad Johnson, with this kick, can equal Kelvin Templeton and become the 3rd highest goal scorer in Bulldog history with his 494th.
Right in front of me.
He's got 2 so far today. Simon Beasley, Chris Grant, Kelvin Templeton, and Brad Johnson can't join them, doesn't score. Out of play on the full.
That didn't do justice to a record attempt, that one.
He's saving it up for a bigger occasion, Jared.
I think so.
Austin to Carazzo. 72 to 46. Fisher.
He's a good defender, Dale Morris. Great mark from Fisher, but made him earn it. The kick had to be absolutely spot on, and it was.
Thornton. White. Harbrow will try and shut him down. Holds him up. Wiggins. Little
Gets
nudge.
the body.
He's Everett under the ball. Murphy needs to hit Cloak. And he does hit him. Tough angle. But he's got a big roost on him.
It's a good build-up, but unfortunately it's wide.
Favola leads to the pocket. He's ignored. Cloak pleads for Leeds, but there's no holes. Just needs to kick the goal. Lays back on it. And forced through for a behind. Really the worst of all possible options for the Blues.
It started probably in the back half. Jared Wade took a terrific mark, but he never looked in the corridor at all. His first look was out wide. What that does, allow the Bulldogs to get back and drop the hole, and gives the Carlton forwards only one spot to lead into, and that is wide on the boundary line.
Jeez, that's gone about 9 metres.
Yep, just the required 15 according to the umpire.
Well done to Matthew Boyd.
And Boyd to Gilby. And now Cross can run if it bounces. Judd chases him down. Cross gets the handball up. Johnson this time. This time he nails it. And joins the great Kelvin Templeton.
Well, Jared White rolled the dice and the Bulldogs won the battle. He left his man, which was Brad Johnson at the time, and that's where he had to intercept. He either had to intercept or take the body out.
You called it beautifully, Jared. Had to body line the body at least. At least that way, if you miss the ball, you've had a collision, and Cross doesn't have any impact in the next possession. And when you get neither, you leave a direct opponent, especially when it's Brad Johnson. He would have been licking his chops with that.
And he'll also pass E.J. Witten on the games played list during the finals this year, you would think. Brad Johnson, as they are headed there, the Dogs, the way they're playing, and they are a threat. Judd sends it long, Betts, good fist from Gilby. Russell and Hargrave pursue. Russell to Judd, hasn't stopped trying. Wiggins, and now Russell. Fisher in position A, can't mark. Morris has been sensational again. Outstanding year, knocks it down across, and Ackermanis can go. Farron Ray calls it forward. Acker's kick is pretty good. It'll bounce and he can go. Oh, it sits.
Good running, Simpson.
Back to Eagleton. He's got Minson in the middle. Ignores him, heads to Addison. And now inside 50, the mark taken by Boyd.
Well, it's just excellent transition from the Western Bulldogs. I've been surprised during the week, Danny, at the number of scribes who, on the basis of a bad last quarter down at Skilled Stadium last week, have almost written off the Bulldogs' chances.
They were terrific for 2.5 quarters, and the first quarter they had all the play against Geelong, but just didn't hit the targets at all.
And they won't have to play Geelong in the finals at Skilled Stadium. Boyd kicks the goal. Well, they can smell September, and it's a beautiful smell.
You're right, Dwayne, and it was very windy last week also. It doesn't suit the Bulldogs' style of play whatsoever. Here at Telstra Dome or the big MCG grandstand where you don't get a lot of wind, it really does suit their style of play.
I don't think anybody would argue that they are right there with Geelong at the moment, but 7 or 6 weeks to go, including this, and then a couple of finals. There's a lot of injuries and a lot of development can interact with each other to make it a very different picture.
Well, they've locked up either second or third. The Bulldogs, the win today. Just have to complete it now. Dot the I's and cross the T's. Get the 4 points. Free kick. Too high, Eagleton. It's against Grigg. And Eagleton signalled how serious the Dogs were pre-season when he had that scuffle at training with Brad Johnson. Murphy flies and let the world know that they're trying to lift it a gear this year, the Dogs.
Jeez, Scott Welsh was stiff not to get a free kick. He was just dragged out and thrown out of the way.
Murphy to Grigg. Stevens. And a wide ball marked by Russell just inside the line. Stevens. Karatza. Held up. Grigg. Favola calls it back to the square. It's in his direction. He's got a one-on-one. He's got it. Tough angle. He might play on.
Well, Lindsay Gilby had to play the odds there. He's the free player for the Bulldogs. Favola's the danger target.
He rolls it around the body. And the jack-in-the-box pops up.
Well, much needed goal there for Carlton. And he had to go wide in the end because Lindsay Gilby was playing the free player. You see Gilby there on screen, Jared. All of a sudden now he spectates the ball. He's got to go back and double team the dangerous forward and get a fist on that. He was just caught spectating. If you're going to go back and play free, it just doesn't mean you're going to get an easy possession. You need to double team the dangerous forward on the ground. That was Favola.
Get on the outside flank of him, but nice conversion there from Brendan Favola. He's not sparked at the present time. Get another one in a hurry though, and you might just see a little bit of a different flicker in the eyes of Brendan Favola.
84-53.
They've been their own worst enemy right throughout the day though, Carlton. They've got to find better options and better disposal.
Walker came through the middle hard. Judd with the clearance, and Morris again. Oh, push to Wiggins. He'll get the free. And he's already got 3.
Took him out of the contest.
In game 100, Simon Wiggins, a chance to be the hero here. Got the nudge out. Make your own opinion up on that push. But he has the kick regardless of what you think. Name now on the locker beside the greats. Alex Marcoux. We can go through the list of them. He went through them during the week and said, I wanted to be there my whole career. He's there now. And he's got 4.
And he's been the one functional unit on that forward line all afternoon. It's a nice kick. We've just seen that. Here's the free kick once again. Thought it was pretty fair bump to me. but he was lucky. Ord Hartman, in fact, number 23 there, could have been the one to get the free kick. Adam Hartman was manhandled, but the bump in the side for mine was all fair play, but that's the rub of the green, and the Blues will take it.
The Chief Wiggum from The Simpsons, his nickname. They love him at Carlton. The players love having him around, and I'll tell you what, they love having him around today. He has kept them in it. 8-11 to 13-6.
Brown on their own on the half-forward flank, which means somebody from the Dogs is free.
Welsh, second grab, gets it. Harbrow slips through, free in the pocket. Hill, all on his own.
His attack on the footy there from Scott Welsh was so far and away better than some of the Blues defenders. That's the reason why this bobbed out.
From the pocket. Hill sneaks it in, grabs the momentum back.
So they're class act, the Bulldogs. He's come back. You just see the stoppage work there from Minson. He's had an impact in this third quarter. Just a quick kick forward, but they're so mobile. Well forward out there, Welsh. That was a clever kick. Could have blazed away, but Josh Hill kicking 2 goals, but a dangerous forward. Harbrow 2 also. It's a great return for 2 half forwards.
Some of those missing. It's got to be a hard team to break into. Griffin, handball up. Wiggins. Addison a trip. Not played. Betts. Back to Wiggins. Fev forced to stop and prop. Little palm down by Lake. Knocked it away. Hardler. Almost a throw. Russell kicked it from his hands. Betts got the handball up. It'll come back to him. Steals. Gives. Scotland. 3 efforts in that string, Eddie Betts.
Geez, that was good vision from Eddie. He's had a quiet day, but if he has a big last 40 minutes, the Bulldogs may get a little scare.
And you've got to use that kick, Jared, because the half-backs of the Bullies are trying to think for Vola, and they're starting to lay off, so you need to spot those free targets up when they're inside 50 when you can.
Massive kick this. 18 minutes gone, third term. He brings it back. It's there. And they have life.
Well, they're not going to go down without a fight, and that's exciting. That's what you expect for a young team. Hanging on to their season here. They're winning some hard ball. This is very clever from Betts, the old 1-2. Strength from Gibbs. You see Betts under pressure. Just squeeze that ball through there to Heath Scotland. Clever. Much needed goal there for the Blues.
It's a sort of kick that you can only do if you see the bloke available before you actually get the ball in your hands. Just got to hit it to peripheral vision, kick it to peripheral vision.
Well, they came from the clouds to defeat Port Adelaide this year, the Blues, in a game that looked dead and buried, and they're alive, all right. Walker slips it inside 50, but Cross gets back and takes the mark.
And that's the difference. Hartland was on his own then, just had to lower his eyes. That kick, well, all it does to the midfield, they have to run the length of the ground now to try and get the ball back, because we know the Bulldogs are very good at using players such as Murphy.
Almost, it is Murphy. Hargrave, Gian Siracusa, Murphy, and back to Gian Siracusa to the pocket. Kept his eye on it, Greg.
He's going back to that Andrew Walker kick. He's got to get the replay and work out what happened. Now, maybe it was a jumper selection, I'm not sure. He just looked like he kicked it to him. If he's going to graduate to be an A-grade midfielder, he's got to get rid of those mistakes.
Gibbs to Thornton, who turns it over. Fist from Welsh.
And it's the biggest strength in today's football, Jared, forward to the centre, to have the decision-making and the vision and the skill to hit the right option.
Cross finds Eagleton. To Hahn in the pocket.
There's the difference. Look at that. Pinpoint perfect disposal. A seasoned player, though. Walker's been around long enough now, though. But this is a challenging shot.
90 plays 65. Murphy, 53 out. Too far out to score. And knows it.
Move it on. It's me.
Harbrow, not 15. Got the corner run on.
right.
Caught.
Did not dispose.
Did not dispose correctly.
Great defence from Carlton. Didn't lay off any of the Bulldogs players. And had the pressure on young Harbrow when he did get the ball.
Move it on.
And there's the not 15, and certainly wasn't. Hardland in the Judd direction. Fisher flies. Judd crumps. Half court, didn't have it. Umpire allows play on. Cooney to Eagleton. Chip pass. Harbrow, 55 out. Long bomb. Dogs have the numbers. Hill. Good fist though, not a good fist. Hahn read it beautifully. Back of the pack, nails the goal.
You're going to spoil the ball, get it out of the dangerous area. Don't put it into the dangerous area. The ball had to be put 8 rows in on the forward pocket. We see the kick here. That ball had to go left of screen here from Jared Waite with a lot of force. Put it 12 rows in. Everyone gets a breather. Instead it goes over the back, and loose checking on Mitch Hahn there. Can't allow your play just to run in good goal side for an easy goal such as that.
3 goals now for Mitch Hahn. Tough to beat the Dogs. They've only lost 2 games this year. Geelong last week, as we spoke about. North Melbourne here, round 9.
Mark Austin will learn from that too, Jared, because he was Mitch Hahn's direct opponent. He went to the front of the pack.
Yeah, ran straight past him.
Yeah, total accountability in that situation.
From the ball up. Stevens came hard but couldn't find a target. Hudson shrugs the tackle. The kick to half forward. Murphy tracks it. White through traffic. Caught by Ackermanis. Carazzo. Wiggins. Stevens. Good build up this. Spearing pass to attacking 50. And the mark taken on 50 by Russell. Doesn't like his chances. Walker touched. It won't be a mark. Fisher held. He'll get the benefit of the doubt. We'll get a ball up.
Well, you go back to the handball. Russell gives it to Walker, and Walker has to go round Gilby, who's on the mark for Russell.
Quick ball up for Vola. Throws that away. Ruck's not his forte.
And look, going back to the Walker one, if you're going to call for the ball, call it for a bit wider. He was too close to Russell when he called that handball.
He's got a paddock, Brett Johnson. Jim Syracusa.
Watch out.
He's got Hill short. Got Harbrow on. And he hits Harbrow. And now Hill, one of the targets. Can't get a fly at it. Ackermanis.
Danny, I'm not sure what your philosophy is, but just looking at this as we take a look at Fev rule himself out of any further ruck work. Maybe into a game for the local basketball side. I reckon they've got to push every number back. They look out on their feet. The Blues had a tough game against the Swans. And the Dogs look up and about.
Carazzo to Cruiser to Judd.
Well, it worked from the first 20 minutes of the game, Jared, when Jared Waite was on his own
Favola.
with numbers back.
Too far out to score. Plays on with a terrible kick. Ray. Oh, he handed it up.
Well done,
Murphy. Okay. This time he needs to nail it, Jared. You talked about his goal kicking. Gee, he made the goal umpire work. Oh, but he got it.
Went left.
It definitely went left. Just right of the left goalpost, luckily for Murphy, Jared.
Well, fortunately for Brendan Favola, Murphy has been able to intercept, because this wasn't a great kick. It was, you know, he was thinking the right things, but the disposal was poor. Not quite as bad as that one. Let's just have a look at this once again to see if he drops his weight left. He does.
Yes.
And he just pulls it a little bit, giving everyone a scare.
Well, they're hanging there, the Blues. They've been brave.
Brave last week, but lost. Lost their last 2 games, St Kilda and the Swans. They're still within touch. Carazzo to Scotland, run down by Harbrow. Judd. Sweeping handball to Waite. Short kick for Vola.
Brian Lake's looking at the umpire there, saying he's dealt with the ball, but it was just a good show of strength. You see Lake talking to the umpire.
It's Favola time, Spud. he's got 35 minutes and he can win this game for the Blues.
It's possession number 8 for Brendan Favola, who's kicked 2 goals too. 25 minutes on the clock, third term. That's a gem. There's a pulse.
The key to the play again, as you see Brian Lake, was the run through the middle of the ground.
Yeah,
take the game on. Don't worry about an honourable defeat or a narrow loss. Let's take the game on through the middle of the ground, such as this. Get your better players through the middle of the ground. Terrific hand from Judd. He cut in Gerard Waite. He learned from that position he had about 10 minutes ago. He looked outside the corridor. As soon as he got the ball, he looked in.
3 goals for Brendan Favola. Brian Lake. Umpire never far away. 72 for the season now for the Fev. He's still chasing down Lance Franklin, who sits ahead of him on 77. From the ball up. Little fumble from Everett.
That's a throw.
Boyd made it okay, gave to Cross. Bounces to half forward. Jamison. Handball puts Scotland under pressure. Rides Hahn. Hands off to Brown. Chips it back. Greg got there. Made the ground.
What's the beauty of this mobile setup for the Bulldogs in their forward line? They've got great league speed. Really do pressure the ball carrier in any defence.
Grigg to Austin to Fisher. And now Carazzo can run. Another scoring opportunity coming up for the Blues. Carazzo sends them to half forward. Bouncing ball. Favola again. Can't collect it. Everett, he can't collect it either. Ball in dispute. Everett gets it now. And dumped by Cruiser. Gone. Will come back. And Cruiser, who's kicked nothing but goals from every shot that he's ever had, will line up again.
You keep putting that pressure. I'm glad they didn't put them all back, Spud, because they've all won the ball, and this is good stuff from Mark Murphy. He's had a very good last couple of minutes.
Cruiser only had the 1 kick, 6 handballs for 1 goal.
Massive kick. He was the man in that monumental comeback against Port Adelaide who got them through. It's wobbled straight. You know he's a good kick when your bad kicks go through.
I like these second efforts. You know, the #1 draft pick in the national draft last year. You know he's going to be a quality player just with his second efforts. And for a guy of his height to be able to nail Anders Everett there, Brett Ratton would be absolutely wrapped with that. Perfect tackle.
Actually, it was really important for Andres Everett to have a look at that. He lifted one hand up, but he left the other hand down, and that's the one that was tackled. Going forward, when the pressure's going to be even greater in finals, got to have both hands free.
And Rodney Eade said enough's enough. Scotty Welsh has gone as the free player behind the ball in front of Favola.
Some big seconds coming up to three-quarter time here. Cross shoots the handball up. Danger. Boyd. Ray. Oh, a little juggle. Holds it. 90 seconds and counting. 96 to 83. They led by 26 points at half-time, the Dogs. Johnson can't mark it. Plays it on. Plays for the free. Carazzo ducked. Umpire wise to it. Austin, Carazzo. Cruiser having an influence. Waite.
Got to come back this side or go really wide, which he does.
Jamison. Favola's calling for it long. He's led wide. Jamison comes inboard. Scotland, little fumble. Murphy, the mopper. Gibbs. Farron Rain a one-on-one. The 2 number 1s. Walker had it stolen by Simpson. Bends it, but not enough.
It was good play from Carlton in the end because from the ball carrier looked up and looked at Favola, who was getting double teamed by Welsh. So they went out the other side and got to a one-on-one. Good thinking.
Blake, Cooney, Murphy. 25 seconds and counting. Addison, content to mop up the seconds to three-quarter time.
Move it on. Not 15. Play on, play on.
You heard the call, not 15. Ball slapped to Stevens. Time enough for a mark. Favola down there with a couple to beat. And the behind will stand. It's inside 2 goals, the margin at the last change.
Well, it was a bit Favola conscious, that one, as you said, Danny. There was another option there, but they've given themselves a big opportunity here, the Blues, to pull off an unbelievable victory.
11 points the margin at the last change. 15-6, 96 to 12-13, 85. 11 points the margin. Final term underway. Minson up against Cruiser. Ball knocked down. No one going anywhere. Ball up.
Different strategy in the middle from Rodney Eade. You've got Cross running with Stevens. It looks like a pretty hard tag.
Cross. Put down to Judd.
Farron Ray on Mark Murphy. He wasn't happy with his performance, Rodney Eade, at 3/4 time.
Gibbs become a superstar almost to Greg Long. Everett thumped it down. Murphy caught high. Russell dumped. And it comes back to Murphy. Was play on advantage.
There's a knee being done here, Dwayne.
Dylan Addison is down and hurt.
Jeez, it looks poor.
So play on.
Good kick.
Favola over his head. Little drop by Wiggins. It's been the start of the show up forward. Eddie Betts has hardly seen it. Kick smothered. It's a second go at it. Morris behind there if he wants it. Goes to Gilby. Cross the face to Cross.
They're a player down at the moment, the Bulldogs.
Griffin. Addison being carried off. Wide to Harbrow.
And that's why they're one of the best sides in the competition, getting the ball out of defence under the pump and cleanly getting it into their forward line.
Everett. Cooney. 50 from goal.
Magnificent passage of play.
Johnson leads short in his direction. Scotland got there.
Well, you've got to have the vision of where the defence are when you use that possession there. You can see how Scotland pushing down.
He's going to get in some trouble here, Walker. That's a
Hill
poor kick.
got there first. Chips it. Griffin over his head. Gibbs, of all people, to give it to. The launch pad for the Blues. To Fisher.
Got Murphy on the middle if you can find him.
Walker. Austin. Now Cross under this. And plucked by Wiggins. And it's paid.
It's going to be a day out, Wiggins.
Favola to the pocket. You betcha. I think I've read this script before. Brendan Favola. It's almost if he likes a platform to be set to become a hero before he wins a game. 96 to 85. The whole stadium takes a breath. He's kicked 3 goals, 2. To bring it back within a goal, he misses. And it's lucky to scrape in for a behind. And there is Dylan Addison. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he just dragged him back onto his knee. And let's hope for his sake that it's not as bad as it looked.
Boyd wide. Favola the illegal spoil, but he holds it up. Lake the poke. Griffin the run off, chased by Judd. 2 of the superstars of the competition, head to head, and Judd's pressure sees Griffin's kick bounce out.
And a big challenge now for Ryan Griffin. They've pushed Cooney into the forward line. And they need his blistering speed.
Ball in on 50. Minson won the knockdown, but to Judd. Brown to Austin.
Kicking once again, just
Wiggins.
making it hard for themselves.
Up to Murphy. Favola's on the move. Murphy sees him. Can't hit him. It's a bounce pass. Favola was held. Got the handball away. Morris. Gilby.
Just got the extra number here, the Blues. Sorry, the Dogs. Has been well worked out.
Farron Ray. Boundary line his friend. He might find it. He does. That was clever. Wasn't deliberate. Had no one to kick to.
In traffic, Chris Judd. Outstanding handball.
Ball back in on the wing. Minson, the palm down across. Harbrow through traffic. Murphy caught, lifted the arm so he could handball. Minson, Griffin, Everett.
Trouble.
Ray, Griffin.
Geez, they do it well.
And he breaks through. Murphy hunts him. He was a torpedo inside 50. Johnson got a fingernail on it. Welsh caught by Walker. Holding the ball.
That was a magnificent tackle, but a great chase from Mark Murphy. He's having a big impact in this last half, Mark Murphy, with his ball-winning ability. You just see the Andrew Walker tackle that.
Good decision. Jamison to Judd. Carlton season on the line. 7 wins and 9 losses so far. This is for their 8th win. They keep a chance of a 12th or a 13th to make the finals.
Dangerous kick.
Eagleton, Cooney, back into traffic. Gilby, Cooney, turnover. Blues get numbers back. Scotland. They've got some poise.
Got to attack hard now, though, Carlton, because they get the turnover. That's when the the Bulldogs defenders are out of position.
Jamison to Wiggins. No arm slap. Cruiser wraps up Welsh. Cross dived in. Could have broken his neck there. And he gets done.
No. Oh, you've got to read the play at some stage. That was one of the most courageous efforts to win a hard ball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on, umpire. Play the game of AFL footy. Gee.
Scotland a cloak. And games can turn on decisions like that. Simpson, Favola.
Well, I'm gobsmacked with that because you learned from Day Dot to win the hard ball. He didn't go to ground. He went hard at the football.
3 goals, 3 for Favola. 10 points is the margin. A ton of time left. Not bad off the boot, but it's across the face. 3 goals, 4 for Favola. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that he and Lance Franklin could both kick their 100th goal for the season in round 22 when Hawthorn play Carlton. What a game that would be. Ray to Murphy. Has to peel back. Thornton with him. Half held him, then let him go. Murphy goes to ground. Ball knocked away from Hahn. Blues are on here. Fisher, Waite, Stevens, Simpson, and now Wiggins, although it's cut off. Russell chips it to Favola. Gets there.
They are forcing him wide every time. He's taking his shots from low percentage spots. He's kicked 3 goals, 4 at the moment. But surely one will go through soon. And the Bulldogs at their other end of the ground, they've been their own worst enemies. They haven't hit the targets when they normally would do so easily.
Hartlett in the hands of trainers. Favola has the Sharon. That unique grip. One hand high, one low. It served him well. Gold. It's a 3-point game.
He's going to be the go-to man. Brett Ratton's opened up the forward line for Brendan. And since quarter time, he's having a huge impact.
Well done from Thornton. That was the ball that had to hit Murphy. He was made to wait.
And again, the key, Jared. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the ball went through the middle of the ground. Take the game on. Win the game of football. Geelong have set the pattern of play. Quick ball movement through the corridor, back your teammate in, get it in there as quickly as possible.
96-93. Hudson in the ruck. Cloak beats him. Down to Judd. Missed it. Gibbs, instrumental. To Stevens. Here he is.
Favola time.
It's Judd and Stevens time also in the middle of the ground.
And that's the debate. Who is more important to this team? Is it Judd because he gives it to Favola, or Favola because he can win a game?
Depends on which Brendan Favola you got.
It's true,
Right
because you
now,
know exactly what Chris Judd you're going to get every week and every minute of every week. Brendan Favola, this is for number 5.
It's a good step there. 4 marks inside 50 already for Carlton, 1 to the Bulldogs.
To give them the lead. To helicopter. The Blues are in front. The Fez got 5.
It's nearly time for Rodney Eade to put an extra player behind the ball, just in front of Brendan. Give them another avenue to go through, frustrate them.
I reckon the other issue, Spud, is that they've got to start winning the footy in the middle. It doesn't get to Favola as easily. If they get it from the middle and into their forward line and hold it in, it's just been coming out way too easily off that half-back line. Plenty of numbers down in the Carlton forward line. I think he's actually tried to do that, Danny, but the Blues are just manning them up.
Yeah, and that's good play. They've put an extra player behind there, and Brett Ratton said, no, we're winning the ball. We want a one-on-one inside our forward 50.
Little fleck to Stevens from Cloak. Handball found Thornton. Bounce unkind for Scotland. He had to wait. Knew he was going to be grabbed. And he was glad wrapped. Couldn't go anywhere. The ball held in. You can feel the tension. And fans of both teams. Cross kick smothered. Scotland the steal. Grigg thumps it long. Favola. Can't get a fly at it. Fist from Lake. Boyd. Gilby. Hill. Boundary line looming. Dangerous kick, but Hargrave gets there. Kicks it wide. Everett and Russell. Big one-on-one this. Russell collects. Everett collects him. Handball up. Grigg, 50 from goal. Centering kick. Gilby.
You're right, Jared, about the Bulldogs need to win some ball. 5 clearance to 1 Carlton's way.
It's been all one up. Yeah, it's been a flogging at the moment. This has to I guess, rebound in some way towards the Bulldogs.
Hargrave to Johnson, who appeared to play for 50, but now does look hurt.
12 contested possessions to 6, as you said, Danny.
They're winning every 50-50 ball, and that you keep winning those, your confidence builds.
Saw a 50 paid earlier in the game for similar incident, but the fact there's no 50 there confirms the earlier one was wrong. Chip kick, dangerous, marked by Cooney.
Farron Ray on to Judd.
3 points the margin.
Cloak's behind the ball.
Minson flies, fist from Waite. Ackermanis, haven't seen much of him, gets a toe on it. Bryce Gibbs, this is a sensation. Carazzo. Scotland.
Eddie Betts is well and truly free if they can get it to him.
Simpson rolls it to him. It's a bounce pass. Eddie can go the journey here. Has a run. Takes on Hudson. Has the shot.
Oh.
Goal of the day. Eddie, where have you been?
Oh, this is outstanding from Carlton. Pete Scotland's had the 6 disposals. You have a look at the ball winners. Gibbs has had 4, Judd a couple, Stevens 3, Favola's had 5 disposals, and Eddie Betts is the icing on the cake. He knew that Hudson was there, but he thought, you're going to have to do something special to try and get a hand on me, Big Ben. I'm going to take you on. That's exciting.
But he does nail his opportunities, Eddie Betts. 25 goals, 10 for the year. 105, plays 96. Biggest lead the Blues have had. 9 points. Cloak down to Judd. Stevens, another clearance for the Blues. Scotland, a tumbler wide. Boundary umpire will toss it in.
That's deliberate, according to the umpire.
Oh.
He's probably right, because he put the top spin on it to make sure it rolled out.
Griffin. Murphy backing back. Called out of it by Welsh.
And rightly so.
And now the short pass back to Murphy. He made his own space there, Robert Murphy. Took off and led back into it.
It's a real test for the Bulldogs. We all have admired their excellence this season, but this is a character test, this one, Danny. See if they, under pressure, can grab back the 4 points that they had in their control at half-time.
It's in good hands, this kick.
Behind. He has been outstanding at goal this year. His first shot behind in this final term. Spoil illegal on Cloak. It'll come back.
Well, the free kick was there. It was the height that drew the free kick in the end. Cameron Cloak versus Ryan Griffin.
Good work, Race. Good pace though from Cloak to provide the option. Need to see more of it.
16 minutes gone. Final turn. Stevens to Carazzo. Clogged forward line, so he thumps it long. Flyers go. No one can mark. Lake rushes it behind. Takes it to 9 points.
Cavola's letting him know, you're under pressure, son.
And Gilby thumps it long towards Cross. Murphy makes the contest. Cross can't take the mark. Murphy gathers the crumb. Harbrow hassled by Grigg. Ray had it for a split second. Back inside the pack. Umpire Avon was sorted out.
You know you're hot, Dwayne, when you gather the crumb when you're sitting on the ground. Ooh. Ball lands in your lap.
37,879 on the edge of their seats here. From the ball up. Everett and Murphy. Murphy, Everett. Murphy wins it. Cruiser, the man who never misses. He's got 3.
He's a start. And you know the Bulldogs are under pressure, Jared, because that stopped play, there was no sweeper for the Bullies. They were reactive. They weren't instinctive, and Carlton have got the game on their terms. You see the stoppage here. There's no one out the back. It's opened up for Carlton to run onto an easy play, and it's very hard to defend once the momentum goes towards your goal. And that's a great follow-up from the ruckman. He started at the tap, then pushed into space to kick a great goal. Murphy's had a great second half also.
Pretty handy work by number 3 as well. Controlled the ball and lined it up for the man who never misses.
Have you got an earpiece to Mark Murphy? Because when you said he's been a little bit quiet in that first quarter and a half, he needs to lift, and he's lifted on cue.
He's a quality player that's got a sniff here.
The Dogs are now 3 goals from the lead after they led by 37 points. They were more than 6 goals in front. Gian Siracusa bangs it long. Bouncing ball. Jamison and Walker back there. Ackermanis hunts him down. And he rushes it behind. Good option. Still 3 goals from the lead, the Dogs. And all of a sudden, some questions being asked of the Dogs. They lost last week, and they lost 6 of their last 7 last year after they went to round 16, equal 4th on the ladder. Big wobble in from fullback. Bryce Gibbs stumps it on, but it's Griffin's ball if it bounces. Oh, he had it.
One of the worst kicks I've seen from fullback, but it got away luckily.
Over the head of Murphy. Fisher can track it out. Murphy, Fisher, Little Shepherd, back into the corridor. They're attacking the game. Thornton, Carazzo, Grigg. Hahn gets there to make a spoil. Waite keeps his feet, takes them on with one hand. Hamill's inboard to Cruiser. They've got options everywhere. Carazzo.
He's had plenty of them in the second half too.
Judd, straight through Everett. Favola.
Well, I love Favola's body work off the ball. We probably won't see it on the camera there. We've got a Bulldogs player down over the other forward flank. Not quite sure who it is. Daniel Cross with blood streaming from the eye, so he'll have to come off. But he's worked Lake into a position, Jared, where he's been able to break the leg rope, and he's used his body strength, and he's used Lake as a launching pad, and Lake's found himself on the back foot.
Yeah. Well, the ball's been being delivered express, and Lace out, and just needs to convert this one now.
For number 6, to push the margin out to 20 points. They've come from 37 points down to keep their season alive.
Fantastic game of football. We see the injury there. Daniel Cross getting some work on the job.
Well, his own man elbowed him. Just clipped him on the way through, did Mitch Hunt.
Not sure why we call it friendly fire. It's not too friendly. Again, the key to Carlton's play, take the game on through the corridor. Fantastic play. Impossible to defend.
Six minutes and counting. Down to Cooney. Hands off to Boyd. Harbrow flies, but Carazzo the fist. Walker. Carazzo. They were on the canvas, the Blues, and they're up, and they're running. Murphy. Short kick. Cooney the crumb. Diving in. Austin. Got it, but couldn't find a target with the handball. Stevens. Cruiser. They're all in there. Fisher. Murphy. Austin. Grigg. Judd. And now Favola. Can you believe it?
He's on fire. It's his 5th mark this quarter.
He only had 1 goal to half-time, Brendan Favola.
Well, when you're hot, and the wheel in, and you had Cade Simpson protecting the area where a defender normally spoils, so that's good team play in itself.
Already had 10 shots at goal. He's kicked 6 goals, 4. This will be his biggest ever tally against the Dogs.
Just guided that one, didn't he?
Just stabbed at that.
119 to 98. 21 minutes gone, final term.
I'm not sure we've ever had a fellow in footy like Brendan Favola, who can be so good so often for half a game, and then make you query whether or not he's worth having for the other half of the game.
The game needs its villains.
But he's also a hero, Dwight.
Yep, exactly. Murphy flies. Now take the mark. I don't think too many Bulldog fans will be calling him a hero today, but the Blue fans might rejoice in 4 minutes' time. Wait. And now time on Carlton's side. Thornton. Murphy.
Going to this game, the thing that I've been impressed about is the run and carry from Carlton. I suspect that they'd match it with the contested possessions, but the handball received, Jared, Carlton 149, the Bulldogs 99. They've had 50 more handball receives. More importantly, through the middle of the ground.
White dumps it long. 2 Blues almost collide. Jamison takes the mark, and more seconds tick down.
The one thing they certainly have improved in this last 40-minute burst has been their disposal. They chopped it up so many times, giving it back to the Bulldogs.
Wiggins in game 100, who was the hero in the first half.
And when you start hitting the targets, the forwards lead more because they're getting used, and more importantly, they're getting hit lace out.
This bloke's had a magnificent second half. He had just 9 possessions to half-time, and he's finished with 26. But he's been damaging. You can have your numbers these days, and they can be a little bit inflated, but Murphy's disposals have been superb.
You went for Favola, why wouldn't you? Tickle on the boundary, and here he is again. On cue, Murphy.
Well, they've been forward to the centre. You can get a lot of cheap disposals around the half-back line, but it's normally been forward to the centre for the Carlton midfield. Especially
Short
in the
pass.
second half.
Good pass, Wiggins. We said at the start of this game, the 4 points mean more to Carlton tonight than for the Dogs. The Dogs should finish top 3, regardless of this loss. The Blues needed the win, and a big fly, and a genuine star mark from Cloak.
Fantastic mark. And let's not forget Wiggins. He kicked the 4 goals to keep Carlton in the game nice and early. I know it's been the Favola show in the second half, but 4 goals from Wiggins, who's come off the ground, Lee Colbert. He'd be satisfied with his night's work.
Yeah, he's bowling a bit down his side, but mate, 4 goals in your 100-game career is magnificent.
Cloak for some icing on the cake. Nice off the boot. No.
Spoke to Brett Ratton before the game, Danny, and he said that he wanted Chris Judd to run more and receive more. Well, right now he's had a career-high 20 handball receives, so he certainly filled the coach's expectations.
Harbrow, they don't know how long left, and here he is on cue.
He's even receiving it off the Bulldogs.
Dragged down, got it back again, just sets it up, wobbler to Favola, gets there in the pocket. Time for one last party trick. High to the square, and Hudson.
Nearly spoiled each other.
He outmarked Eagleton. And when you spoke to Brett Ratton pre-game, he actually said they were confident because they beat the Dogs in a trial game and they thought they matched up well against them. This is the first and only time these two teams have met this year. They beat them last year, the Blues, by 10 points, and they'll beat them again today. Short pass, good pass. There's been good players everywhere you look.
And that's been the key to their play, hitting the targets in this area of the ground. If the defenders started to play off and double-team Favola, you start hitting targets 50 metres to 70 metres out from goal, all of a sudden everyone has to be accountable, and the Bulldogs have to come up and play on their men a lot closer.
Stevens.
Going to change the role, as I said, handball received, Chris Judd 20. Mark Murphy, contested possession 10, which would be up there with his highest.
It will be a sweet, sweet win for the Blues.
Well, this boy, Nick Stevens, he's had the complete game also. He's played inside and outside. 7 contested possessions, some clearances, 15 handball receives. And we know when he's on song, he's one of the best kicks in the competition. And he just laid back here from 50 and just split the middle.
They were 37 points down. They're now 28 points up. And some smiles in the box. The Blues will have their 8th win in their last 5 games. Adelaide at Amy Stadium next week. Port Adelaide here. North Melbourne here. Brisbane at the Gabba. And then the Hawks round 22 here. From the ball up. Stevens dives in. Locks it up. The Blues fans ready to sing. They started already. Judd. Maybe for one last possession. Rejoice, Blues fans. That September smell is still in the air.
This has been a Fox Sports production.